Hello and welcome to Blytheway Business News. On this edition, I'm joined by the team from Pantheon Resources. Pantheon, the oil and gas company, is listed on AIM in London with a market capitalisation of around £530 million sterling. With me, I've got Jay Cheatham, the Chief Executive, and Bob Rosenthal, the Technical Director. Gentlemen, you've just announced a very successful fundraise. Congratulations. Give us a bit of colour on that and just talk us through the highlights.
Yeah, let me give you a little bit of the background, Tim, and it was a fantastic result. Originally, we set out to raise $18 million of equity, and that would trigger two things. One, a $50 million convertible bond alongside a $2 million of equity from the convertible bond provider, giving us $70 million. What we ended up with was a $38 million equity raise, $3 million from the retail trade, and we have now had the ability to go from $50 to $55 million on the convertible for a grand total of $96 million. So incredible outcome for us and gives us so much flexibility going forward, Tim.
So, I mean, oversubscribed, always nice.
Yes.
I guess that's
well oversubscribed, yes.
I guess a bit of a vote of confidence in the management team and what you're doing. So look, having raised all the money, what are you going to do with it? What are the plans?
Okay, so we've already hired the Nordic Callista rig, or we contracted with them. That's the same rig that we used last year, and we used our short-term funding facility to do that. And so the Nordic Callista rig will first go to the Talitha A location. It's going to isolate the Kaparic zone there that we tested last winter but had some issues with. We don't want to spend time there. And then Nordic Callista is going to move 10.5 miles to the northwest and drill our big Theta West well. It'll look at two targets there, the lower basin floor fan and the upper basin floor fan. We'll move in a coiled tubing unit behind the Nordic Callista at Talitha A, and we will test 4 targets there, starting with the basin floor fans, the slope fan. But our primary target there was our original primary target in the Talitha A, the shelf margin deltaic. Then in the spring and summer, we will lay gravel down along the Dalton Highway in the northwest corner of our Alcade unit, and we'll drill an 8,000 foot plus or minus horizontal well into the Alcade deep structure and put that on as a long-term production test well and truck that oil up to pump station 1 at Dead Horse. So a really busy season, almost all the way into next fall, actually.
Okay, so you're looking at, as you say, to next fall, next autumn, as we would call it here in the UK. But let me just look a little bit more short term. Can I come to you, Bob, as Technical Director? The more immediate drilling program this winter, what can we expect out of that?
Well, first of all, just a little background here is we are appraising and testing and putting on production through that program that Jay just announced. We're 17 billion barrels oil in place. That's world class. I mean, that is, that program in and of itself, the testing of the Talitha well, the appraising of the Theta West complex in the Theta West well, and the drilling of the horizontal well at Alcade it's a world class program. I mean, we have 100% of it. It's fully funded now, and it is. I'm hard pressed to think of another oil company that will be doing that kind of a program next year. But importantly, almost immediately, starting with Talitha, we're going to be getting information out and testing, as Jay said, the lower basin floor fan. That's going to be, that information will probably be coming out in February. We'll be continually testing that through the winter. We'll also, then we will drill the Theta West complex, at our appraisal well. And there we're going to be testing, as Jay said, the lower basement floor fan and the upper basement floor fan in that. And that information will be coming out in March and April. So we're going to have an incredible continuous stream of information about these wells coming through the winter.
Okay, so good news flow. And it's great you've done the capital raise, which means you can afford to do it. But I want to come back to you, Jay, because people who observe and follow Pantheon and watch Blytheway Business News will have heard you talk in the past about farm out negotiations. What was it that prompted you to actually do the fundraise instead of go down the route of the farm out?
Well, Tim, we had been in discussions with one group since the summer, and the group we liked. We had negotiated commercial terms. We liked their technical team. We liked their management team. In the end, they tried to change some of those commercial terms, and we just, fortunately, we had been going down a parallel path with the convertible bond, and we just decided those were terms we couldn't accept. We haven't shut off negotiations. We're still talking with those people, but that was just something we felt like we couldn't do. I'd like to add one other thing, Tim, since we did get a bunch, we were so oversubscribed, is we're likely going to drill a second well along the Dalton Highway to twin either Alcade or maybe go a little further south and have a second well on production potentially next fall. So that's really be really incredible for our company.
Lots of great news coming out. I just want to press you one more time though, Jay. On the farm out, is that something you've now ruled out, or is it something you'd still consider?
No, we'd still consider that. We haven't ruled that out. Obviously, terms will probably change now that we're fully funded.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. That was the team from Pantheon Resources, as we heard, oversubscribed in their fundraise and now well positioned for a great, I don't know, up until next fall, work program moving Pantheon forwards. That's it from Blytheway Business News for today. Thanks for watching.